everybody, welcome to the garage. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux, and this is the Court of Public Opinion. Now on a Monday, well, we're recording on a Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, and our live show on the Friday, live streaming around the dining room table, jeremycordeaux.com. So that's the lineup of the week. A couple of things that you didn't know, maybe that you didn't know. This is interesting. Tobacco sales were down 27% last month. 27%. Now that is a huge drop. That doesn't mean that people are smoking less. It means they are smoking less legal tobacco. They are buying illegal tobacco. That'll cause the people in Canberra to worry a bit, I would imagine. And here's another one. One artificially sweetened soft drink a day, just one, increases your risk of type 2 diabetes by 40%. 40%. God. It's dangerous living, isn't it? National Missing Persons Week, keep it in mind, every year around Australia. 50,000 people go missing. Not the same 50,000, you understand, but they just disappear. One can only assume that some of them want to. But it's a week when we focus on the disappeared. Bless those police who go looking for the disappeared, but particularly those officers who stopped the traffic in the southeastern freeway tunnel here in South Australia, the road going up to the hills, to save a koala who'd found its way somehow into the tunnels and was in danger of being killed, and they went in there and they rescued it. That was good. That was on Saturday. Thank you, guys. Bless you. What do you think about another baby bonus? You remember when Peter Costello came up with, he was the treasurer under John Howard, came up with the idea of a baby bonus. You have one for mum and one for dad and one for the country. I don't know. Talk to me about that. It did produce a lot of babies, and a lot of people who sold widescreen plasma television sets were very happy because the $5,000 I think went on television sets rather than anything else. But bringing up a child, it's not going to be much help, $5,000. Anyway, call me on Friday if you would like to. 0491 65 68 60 is the number. jeremycordeaux.com from 9 o'clock in the morning. I believe this is a watershed moment here in Australia. Palestinian protesters march across the Sydney Harbour Bridge on the weekend, as allowed by the Supreme Court. And they were in Melbourne too, Melbourne's King Street Bridge. The Palestinian Action Group, active in every city in this country apparently. What a network. Who are they? Who paid for the Supreme Court action? That ain't cheap. Anyway, Gaza has nothing to do with us. We can do nothing. There are terrible troubles and violence in Somalia and Sudan and the People's Republic of Congo. Why are all these crazy lefty places called the People's Republic? The people don't really get too much democracy in those places. It's all at the barrel of a AK-47. There's Rwanda as well. Oh, war-torn. Terrible. Terrible places. Women, children raped, murdered, famine. We have no influence over these tragedies. And it would seem that the protesters have no interest in these tragedies. I wonder why this is. Is one atrocity more important than another? You know what? You know what? I think it's good old-fashioned anti-Semitism. That's what I think it is. I believe the Israelis, too, are victims here. Islam, the religion of terrorism, they don't want Israel to even exist. If Hamas cared for the people, They would put down their guns and they would sue for peace. Now, what I find absolutely disgusting is 100,000 people on the Sydney Harbour Bridge respecting the Palestinian flag, carrying it high, which, by the way, has no validity, the Aboriginal flag, which is divisive, while at the same time selectively burning the great Australian flag. Now, these people obviously don't like Australia. Leave, please. You could find a nice Islamic country, you know, one of those from where people are always trying to escape. All the refugees, go, leave us alone. Take your gay pride, gays for Gaza flags. Have you checked what the penalty for homosexuality is in that part of the world? It's death. Israel is a very tolerant, diverse, accepting country. Not many in the Middle East are. It wasn't 40, it was more, 70%, I'm pretty sure, 70% of Palestinians support Hamas. 70%. Check it. A known terrorist organisation. The people involved in those demonstrations should be kicked out of this country. If you disagree with that, call me Friday. Rip my ears off. I don't mind. 0491 65 68 60. JeremyCordeaux.com from 9 o'clock in the morning. Famous commercial TV producer, Max Pepper, is going to be with us, among others. I heard an amazing interview on breakfast television last week. One Nikki Hartley. Nikki Hartley. She's an economist. She's on the Climate Council of Australia, I believe. There she was informing the world, most importantly us, that the most expensive form of electricity production in the world was coal-fired power generation. This is the same morning that the UN and the CSIRO came out with the same rubbish. Coincidence? Golly. A feeble response to Barnaby Joyce and Pauline Hanson's private members' bill to abandon net zero. That's what it's about. These lefties think that we're not only stupid but gullible. But the media, not one informed, intelligent question. Oh, she's from the Climate Council. Listen, lady, the Chinese and the Indians are building 2 coal-fired power stations a week and they're burning our coal. Can you explain that? And you're not over there lecturing them, are you? They're selling us renewables, but they prefer our coal. Can you explain that? I think it might be because it's cheaper. Cheaper to generate electricity that way. Let's talk about Gama. I don't know if you're interested or across it, but I heard one gentleman stand up. He was an elder, and he said, "We don't want a welfare economy. We do not want a welfare economy." One of the speakers at Gama in Arnhem Land over the weekend. Now, that's pretty simple, and I understand. But isn't it in your hands? Don't be on welfare. No one forces you onto welfare. The PM took the opportunity to give another $100 million to help administer land rights and other Aboriginal causes. That's where, of course, most of the money goes, you know. Administration. That's the last thing Aboriginals need. More administration. That won't help close the gap. The poor, hard-working Australian taxpayer already hands over $50 billion a year to achieve nothing except keeping an Aboriginal industry of bureaucrats and bludgers on Easy Street. And I, for one, am sick of it. The government's own measurement tool, the closing the gap initiative is a total failure. Always has been, always will be. Because you know what? It takes two to tango. To whom much is given, and much is given to Aboriginals. To whom much is given, much is expected. We keep giving and nothing. Could it be that you can't help people who won't help themselves? The more you give, the more they want. But you must keep in mind that the average Aboriginal never sees a single cent of the money that we give. Albanese doesn't care about that. Why, I don't know. Warren Mundine has said many times on our live Friday show, it's about education. Send your kids to school, he advises Aboriginal mothers and fathers. Keep them at school. Take advantage of that which is provided, mostly free. Totally right. I had to leave school at 15. Now, I was proud to leave school at 15 to support my mother. Aboriginals don't have to do that. It's all there for them. That could be part of the problem. I see them in the city and I see them on the parade at Norwood, sitting on the street, sometimes in the gutter, abusing passers-by, begging, mostly drunk. That's not all Aboriginal people, of course, but enough to give them a bad name. People must help themselves. It's the sort of thing I say to my own children. We must help ourselves. Nothing truer. Only 4 of the 19 closing the gap targets are being met. When are you going to realise that money is not the answer? Ain't the answer. Now, the other thing I want to bring up is the productivity and tax round table. It's fast becoming a tax hike talkfest. The danger is that we're being softened up. Watch it. Watch it carefully. There are too many taxes already in this country, and they are all too high. 14,000, I looked this up, you can do it, you can Google it. How many pages of tax law are there in Australia? 14,000 pages of tax law. 14,000. And what should interest the Productivity Commission? All of this is holding back the economy in the country. More to say on that later. But Ireland is a living, breathing example of what to do, if anyone wants to know. An economic basket case for years, sky-high unemployment, bankruptcies, people leaving the country in droves. The government cuts corporate tax and others, but corporate tax particularly to 12.5%. And the place is now booming. People can't wait to get there and set up their businesses. It's a no-brainer. Here's your example, your template. The failed Victorian Labor government held the Labor conference on the weekend. Kind of slipped through to the keeper in many ways. There are plenty of other things going on. They have pretty much wrecked the state, the Labor Party there, and disqualified themselves from any more innovation, you would think. But oh no, they want to enshrine some more innovation. There's an election next year, by the way, but Jacinta Allen thinks she's going to win it. Well, she could. Nothing would surprise me. But this is the sort of grab bag they came up with on the weekend. Scrap stamp duty, which on the surface is a bloody good idea, but scrap stamp duty and introduce a land tax on every private home. Legalise marijuana and sell it through state-owned stores. The right for every worker to work from home 2 days a week. All of this is destructive crap. There's no hope for Victoria. Let's deal with working from home. Employers surely have a right to decide what is best for their particular company or organisation. He who pays the piper calls the tune. The workplace is diverse. One size does not fit all, The boss should decide, no one else. It's hard enough for employers at the moment. Disincentives everywhere you look. It's reaching the point where people won't employ. It's too hard, it's too expensive. Too many rules, regulations, it's all too hard. Hence, I predict the growth of AI and mobile telephones. It's creeping up on us, ladies and gentlemen. AI. Going way back to the very beginnings of labour, founded by the unions, of course. They have a kind of a them and us mentality, which, as I say, goes way, way back. They just can't see the big picture, the other side. And to govern and grow this great country for everyone, you must be able to see both sides of the equation. It's kind of like you're on another planet, you union people. The unions in Melbourne are demanding, here's a great example, they're demanding that employers do not install, embrace or even investigate AI. The financial world is logically where AI is going to be most useful. But it will change everything. Everything, believe me, every business, every industry. Employers will have to get a union or a delegate or someone to give them permission to even explore the benefits of installing AI in their business, and it should be their sovereign right to do exactly that. Then, of course, the businesses are going to have to guarantee that there will be no loss of jobs. That's impossible. All through history, with every advance, innovation, employment is affected, has been, will be. Workers just have to adjust. That's what evolution's about. Surviving. Think of the Industrial Revolution, the cotton gin, the car, the very car. People who made horses and wagons and saddles and bridles and things must have been very angry. Robots, the computer, the printing press. How do you hold back progress? Typewriter manufacturers and mechanics must have been furious about the computer. Look, change is inevitable. The only thing that is certain in this world is change. Here's another example of their nonsense. I did bring it up last Friday. An inclusive, more inclusive census coming up this month in Australia, where kids can choose their own gender. What a disgrace. If we don't get out of this left-wing death spiral, I fear for the survival of this country. We're here with the very best wishes of the rising sun, ladies and gentlemen. I dropped in there on, when was it? Friday. Pretty sure. 60 Bridge Street at Kensington. Had a drink with Jackie and Grant. In fact, Jackie is going to be on the show because this is a very big year for the Rising Sun Inn, having been built back in 1845. This is 2025. It's a big year. So they're gearing up to celebrate at the Rising Sun, and they invite you to be part of it. And Elder Fine Art Gallery in Melbourne Street, North Adelaide, with their second big auction for the year coming up. Talk to Jim or Helen, his lovely wife, on 8267 2869. They're inviting you, there's still time, to get a painting if you want to get it in the sale, which is a global sale, goes worldwide. You will be guaranteed of the best prices. Get an appraisal, have a look at selling that painting. You could not get anyone better than Jim Elder to sell it for you. Don't forget to call us on Friday, 0491 65 68 60. You can get us on your mobile phone too if you would like to. How much time have I got, Pete? None. Okay, I'll do my dates. He's as subtle as an ice pick. Alrighty. I was just getting warmed up.
You were doing well.
August the 5th, happy birthday. Happy wedding anniversary. 1861. The US Army abolishes flogging. Nothing like a good flogging. Wonderful word, flogging. 1930, Neil Armstrong, American X-15 pilot and astronaut, first man on the moon, Gemini 8, Apollo 11. Born in Ohio, he died in 2012, born this day in 1930. The world's first traveller's checks issued by American Express. Whatever happened to American Express? 1891. Don't leave home without it, kind of thing. Alec Guinness, British actor, Lady Killers, Lawrence of Arabia, The Bridge over River Kwai, Dr. Zhivago, Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, dies of liver cancer at 86. 2000 was the year. This was the day. Britain, USA and the USSR sign a nuclear test ban treaty. A lot of good that did. 1963, that was the year. 1984, Richard Burton, Welsh, Tony, BAFTA, award-winning stage and screen actor, Cleopatra, Camelot, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and the fifth and sixth husband of Elizabeth Taylor. He dies of a cerebral hemorrhage at 58. Gee, that's young, isn't it? 1984 was the year. Harry Houdini stays in a coffin underwater for 1.5 hours in 1926 on this day. Why? Why? Oh dear, oh dear. Joe English, Irish, Flemish draftsman, painter and soldier, designed World War I gravestones. He died in 1918, born this day in 1892. There must be something about the design of World War I gravestones in Belgium. One more. 1981, US President Ronald Reagan fires 11,500 striking air traffic controllers. He didn't put up with shenanigans. Thank you so much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we'll be back on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock with another posting here on Facebook. And, of course, on Friday with our live streaming, jeremycordeaux.com. Round the dining room table, live streaming. Believe in yourself. Thank you very much for viewing the Court of Public Opinion, and goodbye for now.